So, guys, today we gonna RC, what if Goku teleported in Konoha? With Team 7. Last time Haku's eyes widened in shock, and her heart dropped a little in sadness. Standing before her was the genin with blonde hair, whisker marks and a terrible orange jumpsuit. Naruto Uzumaki has arrived, said the blonde ninja with a smile. Naruto Uzumaki has arrived, said the blonde ninja with a smile. The demon container looked around his surroundings to see an unconscious Goku and Sasuke, who at the moment looked like a pincushion. The Uchiha, seeing Naruto, walked over to him and got in a battle defense by his side. Sasuke, what happened to Goku? Asked the blonde, worried about his Saiyan friend. I don't know, I was knocked out at the time, but right now I'm ready to fight, said a determined Sasuke. Wo's Sharingan eyes narrowed at the ice user. Sasuke, we have to get Goku out of here, said Naruto, who pulled out another kunai knife. The spiky-haired Saiyan continued to lay on the ground, showing no signs of waking up soon. Dope, here's what we're going to do, you get Goku, and I will try and burn our way out of here, said Sasuke, interrupting Naruto from his thoughts. Naruto nodded to the Uchiha and charged forward to the fallen Saiyan. But as soon as Naruto made the charge, Senbon needles flew towards him. Sasuke caught up to Naruto and started to deflect the Senbon needles. The Uchiha smirked at how easy it was to deflect the incoming projectiles thanks to his Sharingan, of course. The blonde ninja finally reached the fallen Saiyan and scooped him up in a fireman's carry. Sasuke, I got Goku, do the jutsu now, shouted Naruto. Sasuke nodded while going through some hand seals. After the few hand seals, Sasuke cupped his right hand near his mouth. Kaden, great fireball, Sasuke said, while blowing a huge ball of fire from his mouth towards the mirror closest to him. Haku's eyes widened as she seen one of her mirrors melt from the fireball jutsu. If she didn't do something now, both ninjas would escape, or worse, Goku would wake up soon. She broke her thoughts when she noticed Naruto and Sasuke rushing towards the newly made exit. Out of desperation, she quickly formed 3 Senbon and threw them at the escaping genin. 2 of the Senbon missed before one lodged itself into the calf muscle of Naruto. Naruto yelped in pain as he felt a needle pierce his leg. He fell to the ground with Goku with him. Sasuke turned to see his teammate fall to the ground and Goku from his shoulder. Sasuke, get Goku out of here, I will cover you, shouted Naruto, while he quickly got to his feet, but limped on his right leg, where the Senbon needle was lodged. Sasuke looked conflicted at this point, when he could stay and help his teammate, or he could escape with his life. Damn it, Dope, don't be a hero, shouted the Uchiha. Before Naruto could respond, the melted mirror suddenly reformed into a new one. Naruto cursed silently, and then felt a fist connect to the side of his jaw. The Kyuubi container was sent to the ground, and clutched the side of his jaw, that was now throbbing in pain. Sasuke charged the now exposed Hunter Nin. Haku turned to duck under a fist from Sasuke. But Haku didn't expect for the genin to thrust his knee upward, which connected to the ice user's face. The ice user's face experienced pain from the blow to the face, but quickly recovered and threw another Senbon, which hit Sasuke in the arm, and a few pierced his legs. Sasuke fell to one knee and spit up a little blood, while cursing to himself. I must admit I'm impressed that you have survived this long, said Haku honestly. She didn't understand where Naruto or Sasuke got the determination to keep fighting on, even though it was a person completely out of their league. Sasuke glared at the ice user before pulling the Senbon from his leg. Haku was about to charge forward until she heard a shout of .1839 Kage Bushin Jutsu, shouted Naruto, while 3 shadow clones appeared. Naruto commanded the 3 to attack Haku, while he recovered Goku and helped Sasuke. The 3 clones charged Haku, while the original went to his teammates. Haku quickly launched a needle which hit one clone in the neck, which caused it to poof. The second threw a punch which Haku pushed aside, before throwing a chop to its neck, also dispelling it. The last clone tried to buy the original more time, but just like the others, he was struck and vanished in cloud of smoke. Haku quickly ran forward and intercepted the blonde ninja with a kick to the face. Naruto didn't expect the attack and was launched away from his teammates. Haku quickly jumped into a mirror while creating more needles. I'm sorry, Naruto, but this is where it ends, whispered a sad Haku, but she knew it had to be done. She launched the needles at the down form of the Kyuubi container. The sound of flesh getting pierced rang out through the dome of ice. Naruto expected to feel pain, but when he didn't, he opened his eyes to see Sasuke had taken the attack. Sasuke didn't even look back as he felt his energy drain, and his vision was getting blurry. How pathetic to think my life ends by saving the dope of our class, smirked the last Uchiha as he fell to the ground. But his body never made it to the ground as Naruto caught Sasuke's falling body. Naruto checked Sasuke to find his skin now pale and felt a little cold. Why, Sasuke, damn it, why did you take that attack? Shouted Naruto while a few tears fell from his eyes. He would never admit it, but Sasuke was his best friend and rival. To see him in the state, so close to death, he couldn't help but tear up a little. I don't know dope, my body just moved, chuckled the Uchiha weakly, and coughed up a little more blood. Shut up Sasuke, save your strength, said Naruto. Sasuke gripped Naruto's arm tightly, while his eyes looked at him weakly. Naruto, he has still out there the man I wanted to kill, my own traitorous brother, please Naruto you have to stop him please begged the Uchiha weakly as his vision finally faded to black and laid unmovingly in the arms of Naruto. Sasuke I promise you I will kill your brother but right now, I must deal with this son of a bitch, cursed a sad, and now pissed off Naruto. Haku could only watch the scene before her with sadness and with regret buried deep in her heart. She knew Naruto would never forgive her, and she couldn't blame him. He was a great ninja, to give his life for you. Is this the first time you've seen a friend die in battle? Naruto asked Haku. Shut up, shouted Naruto while his voice sounded a little deeper. Naruto's body seemed to tremble with rage, because of the ice user before him. Deep inside Naruto's mind, a beast of unholy power awoken. Its red eyes pierced the darkness of the room it was sealed in. The beast chuckled darkly at the scene before. Well Naruto, it seems you're in a tough little situation. Here, take some of my power and rip this piece of trash to shreds, growled the now awakened beast known as the Kyuubi, who was pissed at being woken up. Red chakra suddenly swirled around the body of Naruto and the fallen Uchiha. The air grew dense, and the feeling of pure, untainted evil filled the dome of ice. Haku was visibly shaking in her mirror. What is this foul chakra? It's so evil and bloodthirsty. It should be impossible for chakra to come out in waves like this, thought the now scared ice user. The red chakra swirled at the top of the dome of ice, before taking the shape of a fox. Woe's face grinned evilly at Haku, which made her shake. The fox head disappeared and Naruto's body began to change. His usually messy blonde hair began to spike up. Naruto's whisker marks on his face darkened and his wound seemed to be closing fast. Naruto slowly put Sasuke's body to the ground and stood up with his back turned to the ice user. Naruto turned his body and faced Haku, and the sight before her almost made her heart stop. 1839 Naruto's teeth seemed to sharpen into fangs, but what scared her the most were his eyes. His eyes changed from their regular blue to a crimson red with black slits in the middle. I'm going to slaughter you, shouted a now Kyuubi power-possessed Naruto. Kakashi and Zabuza were still going at it when they felt the feeling of evil fill the air. Both warriors separated from their fight when they felt this power. Kakashi, do you feel that? What's going on? asked the swordsman. I don't know, answered the copycat ninja. What is this power? Is it Goku again, or some new ninja? Thought Kakashi until he felt another pulse of evil. Kakashi's eyes widened when he recognized the power. He hadn't felt that power in about 12 years. The same night no it can't be, that's the Kyuubi's chakra, said Kakashi quietly, but Zabuza heard it. Kyuubi, wait, you don't mean the nine-tailed fox? I thought your fourth Hokage defeated that thing, shouted Zabuza. No, he sealed the beast away, and it seems the seal is beginning to weaken, said Kakashi, while looking towards the ice dome and seeing the red chakra seep through it. If the Kyuubi broke free, then a trail of destruction would soon follow the beast's path. But he was more worried about Naruto more than anything else. Kakashi's thoughts were interrupted when a loud shatter occurred. Both Zabuza and Kakashi turned to see the ice dome that had trapped both his students and Goku, shattered to pieces. The other thing they seen was a body fly out of the dome. Back in the dome. The animalistic Naruto charged the mirror that Haku was in. His fist crashed through the mirror, but not before Haku jumped to the next one. Naruto's red-crimson eyes narrowed angrily at missing his target, but Haku thought differently. That punch would have tore right through me. I have to end this, thought Haku, before releasing a shower of needles onto Naruto. The needles rained and lodged themselves into Naruto's body. Naruto stood still for a moment before he thrusted his arms forward and released a mighty roar that told Haku he was now pissed off. The needles flew out of Naruto's body, and all the mirrors began to crack thanks to the power and pressure Naruto was exerting. Haku was about to jump to another mirror before a hand grabbed her arm tightly. Haku's eyes widened behind her mask as she turned to see Naruto's animalistic eyes staring deep into her own. Naruto withdrew his fist, which was covered by a dark red chakra. Naruto then threw that fist, which connected with Haku's face. Haku felt ungodly pain and seen white as her body was launched from the impact of the shot and was sent crashing through a mirror to the outside world. Haku's body flew off into the mist, and the rest of her ice dome began to shatter. Naruto's red eyes seen Haku's body fly off into the mist and took off after it. Goku eyes slowly awoken to a loud shattering sound. He rubbed his right hand through his spiky raven hair and slowly stood up. Goku looked up to see that the ice dome he was in earlier with Sasuke was now falling apart. The Saiyan turned his head to see the fallen Uchiha. Sasuke, shouted Goku as he ran to the not-moving body of Sasuke. He pressed his fingers to Sasuke's cold neck and felt a faint, but still a pulse in the Uchiha. Goku inwardly sighed before his face took a serious. Sakura, bring Tazuna here and help Sasuke, shouted Goku, hoping the pink-haired girl could hear him. To his luck he heard approaching footsteps and seen her pink hair from a mile away. Sakura and the bridge builder approached Goku and Sakura's eyes filled with tears at seeing Sasuke look so lifeless. "Goku, is he dead?" stuttered Sakura, hoping it wasn't true. Goku shook his head negatively, and Sakura let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. "Sakura, I'm going to go find Naruto." "Stay here," said Goku seriously, which got a nod from Sakura. He felt for Naruto's energy and took off towards him. 1839 Haku slowly off the ground, clenching her face in pain. She looked up to see Naruto's red eyes pierce the mist and glare towards her. He then charged her again with the intent on finishing Haku off this time. Haku see Naruto approach to deliver the finishing blow. She closed her eyes, not knowing her mask was slowly falling apart. "I'm sorry, Zabuza-san, but this boy was far too powerful for me. It was fun being your tool, an apprentice," she thought as the last of her mask slowly fell to the ground. Kakashi and Zabuza were both bleeding, and their chakra was decreasing fast. Kakashi ducked under Zabuza's blade and threw a kick to the swordsman's gut, which launched him away from Kakashi. This gave Kakashi enough room to go through a few hand seals. "Ninkenjutsu," said Kakashi, while a few dogs came from underground and bit into a part of Zabuza's body. Zabuza refused to scream from the pain he was feeling, so he weakly grunted from it. "My dogs have you incapacitated, Zabuza, and it's time for this to end." Kakashi held his right hand out while his left hand cupped his wrist. Suddenly blue lightning appeared and gathered in Kakashi's hand. It kept growing bigger and lightning danced around the Jounin. "Rikiri," shouted Kakashi, and charged forward intent on ending Zabuza's life. Haku felt no pain, so she opened her eyes to see Naruto's fist inches away from her face before it slowly withdrawed. Naruto's red eyes changed back to his regular blue, and his other features returned to normal. He recognized the girl from the forest. "Haku, why?" asked Naruto. "Why didn't you finish me off, Naruto? Why didn't you avenge your friend?" asked Haku, completely ignoring Naruto's question. "Haku, why do you want me to kill you?" "Because I failed, Zabuza, so now I am useless," broken Haku said, and lowered her head. "That's so stupid, Haku, you're not useless," argued Naruto, which brought a small smile to Haku's face. "Your words are kind but untrue, Naruto. I couldn't win, so please kill me, Naruto," Haku said, not meeting the blonde ninja's eyes. "Why, Haku, why?" screamed Naruto. Haku looked up to see small tears form into the blonde's eyes. She then told him her story of her childhood along with her meeting Zabuza and the life the two had together. "So I ask you, Naruto, to end my life," Haku said. "Haku, I would like to believe in some other life we could have been great friends," Naruto said, while whipping out a kunai knife. Haku heard the sound of electricity from a few feet away and seen Kakashi charge Zabuza. Haku's eyes widened and caught Naruto's hand before the blade could pierce her head. Haku asked a shocked Naruto, "I'm sorry, Naruto, but Zabuza still needs me," said Haku, before vanishing away. Kakashi's Rikiri-covered hand flew forward, hoping to cut through the body of Zabuza. He felt a warm liquid splash his face and knew the job was done. But when his eyes opened, they widened because it wasn't Zabuza on the end of Kakashi's Rikiri, it was Haku. Haku coughed up blood and fell off Kakashi's hand. Her body hit the floor and didn't move, while a silent gust of wind blew through the bridge. Goku finally caught up to Naruto. "Hey, Naruto, what's up?" grinned the Saiyan to the blonde. Naruto turned to see Goku standing with some senbon in his arms. "Wow, Goku, you look like shit," said Naruto bluntly. Goku chuckled at the ninja's words. "I do, don't I? But I've been worse, trust me," Goku said, while thinking back to his fights with Frieza, Cell, Buu, and Baby. "Well, we should go find Sakura and meet up with Kakashi to talk about what happened with Sasuke," said Naruto sadly while looking down. "Don't worry, Naruto, Sasuke's fine. I checked him before I came looking for you. He still has a pulse," said Goku, which got a happy grin from the Kyuubi container. "That's great, let's go," shouted Naruto, and Goku only chuckled. Goku was about to follow him before he felt a power level nearby disappear completely. Naruto, not hearing footsteps behind, turned to see Goku with a serious expression plastered on his face. "Huh, Goku, what's wrong?" 1839 Somebody just eyed Naruto. Kakashi looked at his bloody hand before looking down at the body of the hunter nin, who didn't even look 18. He didn't even notice his dogs disappear, and Zabuza slowly reached for his sword. The silver-haired Jounin turned to see Goku, Naruto and Sakura arrive with Sasuke in her arms and Tazuna behind her. Naruto kneeled down by the body of Haku before a lone tear fell from his face. This girl had the same kind of past as him, and it hurt to see someone so like him die. Suddenly clapping echoed throughout the bridge. Team 7, Goku and Zabuza turned to see a pudgy man wearing glasses and a suit appear out from the mist. Behind him seemed to be a large amount of thugs and mercenaries. This pudgy guy with the suit was the reason for all the suffering that's happened in Wave Country. His name is Gato. Well, what do we have here? The infamous demon of the mists. Zabuza is actually a bitch, seeing as he got taken down by kids, sneered the fat businessman. What are you doing here? Gato asked Zabuza. I'm here to kill you, of course, Zabuza. I never really had any intention to pay you, or that whore apprentice of yours. Guys, whoever kills the ninja team and Zabuza get paid extra. Also take that young pink-haired girl there, she could be of some fun later, said Gato, while he licked his lips, while Sakura hid behind her sensei in fear. Before anyone could move, 3 huge killing intent filled the area. The killing intent came from one Zabuza who used his only movable arm to pick up his sword. Naruto was the second one. Wo's eyes changed back to a crimson red and rose high above Zabuza's intent. The only killing intent that matched Naruto's was the pissed-off Saiyan. Goku and Naruto could stand a lot of things, but the thing they both hated the most was the mentioning of rape, especially when said threat was directed to their teammate friend. Both the ninja and the Saiyan were loyal to their friends, and to hear such a vile act even mentioned pissed them off. Zabuza barely could lift the sword before a pain shot through his left arm. He dropped the sword next to Naruto. Wo's crimson eyes noticed the weapon. He looked towards the injured swordman and Zabuza noticed him eyeing the weapon, as if asking permission to use it. Zabuza seen Naruto's crimson eyes and nodded with approval, and a little bit of joy seeing the bloodshed that was about to take place. Naruto with Kyuubi in his strength picked up the weapon. Across the bridge, Gato began to sweat as the killing intent kept coming off in waves from the demon container, swordman and Saiyan warrior. Naruto charged forward with Zabuza behind him, who whipped out a kunai. Enough, go kill them now, shouted Gato in fear at seeing his possible death approaching him. The mercenaries wasted no time and charged to intercept the raging genin and injured Zabuza. But they were blasted away by a shockwave of power and a shout of Cake and Zabuza, and everyone else stopped their charge to see Goku surrounded in a red aura, while his power shot through the roof. Goku's eyes narrowed at the business man. Gato backed up in fear and began to retreat, while his mercenaries snapped out of their trance and continued their charge towards Naruto and Zabuza. Goku shot off towards the army of approaching mercenaries with Zabuza and Naruto at his side. Kakashi decided to stay back and protect his student in Tazuna. Naruto and Zabuza began to slice and kill thug after thug with their weapon, while Goku's fists on their own were weapons of mass destruction. Naruto sliced through the middle of one with Zabuza's sword, while another tried to take advantage of a distracted Naruto. But that thug didn't make it far, because Zabuza launched a shuriken which lodged into that thug's throat. The thugs just dropped like flies after that as the bloodshed went on for a few more minutes. A blood-covered Naruto looked over to Zabuza and was about to return his sword before Zabuza stopped him. 1839 Gaki, with my arm like this, I won't be able to handle the weight of that sword anymore, so how about you keep it, smirked Zabuza. Hey, wait a minute, where's Gato, asked a confused Naruto until he heard a girlish scream pierce the sky. Suddenly Goku appeared in front of them with him holding Gato by the collar of his suit. The man tried to beg for his life, only for Zabuza to pierce his chest with a kunai knife. He smirked at the wide-eyed businessman. So who gets to finish him off, asked Zabuza. I will. I never enjoyed killing another human, but this guy isn't human, has a monster, stated Goku coldly before his grip tightened on his suit. And with one mighty throw sent the tyrant into the air screaming. He cupped his hands to the side, while his Kaken aura flared to life. Naruto and Zabuza noticed the ball of blue power start to form in Goku's cupped hands. Goku began to mentally chant the words while gathering power. When Gato was high enough into the air, so the shockwave of the blast won't do damage to the bridge, Goku thrusted his palms forward with a shout of Kamehameha. The legendary wave erupted from Goku's palms and shot towards Gato. Gato felt oxygen keep decreasing as his body kept going into the atmosphere. He suddenly heard something and turned to see a large blue wave of energy coming towards him. When the Kamehameha reached him, Gato screamed in pain and agony as he was turned to ash. The blast erupted in the sky and sent a shock wave which spread out through the sky. When the shaking and power from the explosion lessened, Goku's red aura disappeared as he went back to his normal state. He breathed a heavy sigh and looked to see his friend Naruto with wide eyes, but a smile was on his face seeing the power behind the legendary wave. Goku heard footsteps and turned to see Kakashi approaching them with Sakura behind. That was something else, Goku, and mostly you, Naruto. I'm impressed, said Kakashi with his famous size smile. Thanks, said Naruto with his voice, not too happy as his now blue eyes turned to see the body of Hako laying lifelessly. Kakashi heard Naruto's tone of voice and frowned, while looking at Goku. Wo's face seemed neutral. Is this the first time you've seen someone die in battle, Goku asked Kakashi to the Saiyan, who turned his head to the copycat ninja with a small frown. I wish I could say it was, but no, said Goku, which got Kakashi to look sadly at the Saiyan. He thought Goku had to have been very young to experience death, but what he doesn't know is Goku has killed many times just to save the ones he loved and the whole universe, but just because he killed for the right reasons didn't mean he liked doing it. Well, that's one less person to give the death speech to, said Kakashi, who then turned his head to see Zabuza kneeling by Haku's body. Zabuza turned his head to Kakashi. Kakashi, since we're no longer enemies, do you think we could bury Haku? Asked Zabuza. Of course, Zabuza said Kakashi. They spent the next few hours burying Haku with Naruto, and Zabuza saying their goodbyes to the fallen ice user. When they all returned to Tazuna, he was a little reluctant to let Zabuza in, but after explaining he was no longer a threat, he was allowed entrance into his Goku, Team 7 and even Zabuza after a few days finished the bridge and was about to head back to Konoha. After 2 days since the battle, Zabuza was going to leave before Kakashi explained that he would be able to stay in Konoha. Zabuza was hesitant at first, but after hearing that he would be protected from Hunter Nin, he accepted. Now they stood at the bridge about to depart for home. Inari was shedding tears at seeing the kid he now considered an older brother was leaving. But Naruto told him one day he would visit and never to cry unless he was happy. So Grandpa, what should we name the bridge? Asked Inari. Tazuna seemed confused at first at what actually to call the bridge until he smiled. 1839 How about the Great Naruto Bridge? Said Tazuna with a smile towards the blonde genin who had a look of shock before it was replaced with a smile. Thanks, Tazuna, I would be honored to be named after your bridge, but I thought of a better name. And what name would that be? Naruto asked Kakashi to his young student, who smiled his trademark foxy grin. How about the Great Haku Bridge? He said, which got a smile from Zabuza and his sensei. The Great Haku Bridge, it is, said Tazuna, while the crowd of wave civilians who showed up to thank their heroes cheered in approval. Team 7, Goku and Zabuza waved goodbye to the wave country as they made their way to Konoha. Kakashi and Zabuza were surprised to find they liked the same kind of books, which were the famous Ichiichi, so on the way back they were discussing that and how it was great literature. Sakura kept trying to ask out Sasuke, who ignored her, while Naruto was silent the whole way. Goku was also silent, but his thoughts kept drifting back to his Super Saiyan transformation. He couldn't understand why it didn't work. He did what he always did, but something went wrong. What happened? Why couldn't I transform? Thought Goku. What the hell? Zabuza survived. The bridge was now named after Haku instead of Naruto. Naruto now has Zabuza's sword. Man, what's going to happen next? Well, let me tell you, the end of the next chapter might surprise you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please hit the like button, it's feel awesome. And if you want a next part of this video, comment down, and if you are new on channel, subscribe it. Thanks for watching guys, sayonara.